When you wake, your brain emerges from a carefully orchestrated cycle of repair, cleansing, and reorganization. During sleep, neurons reduce their firing, allowing metabolic waste to be flushed from delicate brain tissue, synaptic connections to be refined, and memory pathways to be strengthened. By morning, the brain stands at a biological crossroads, temporarily vulnerable yet remarkably receptive. Blood sugar is low, cortisol gently rises to prepare the body for alertness, and neural networks shift from restoration into readiness. In this quiet window, the first nourishment of the day becomes more than food. It becomes a set of biochemical instructions that shape how the brain will function for hours to come. Every thought, memory, emotion, and decision depends on the precise balance of neurotransmitters, minerals, fats, and glucose circulating through neural tissue. When the first meal offers slow-releasing energy instead of sudden spikes, the brain experiences a steady supply of fuel that supports calm attention, stable mood, and sustained mental clarity. Complex carbohydrates from natural sources provide gradual glucose delivery, preventing sharp fluctuations that strain cognitive systems. Healthy fats reinforce the structure of neuronal membranes, preserving flexibility and speed of communication between brain cells. Proteins contribute essential amino acids that become dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine, and other messengers that regulate motivation, learning, emotional stability, and memory formation. This early nourishment directly influences the brain's ability to regulate stress. Cortisol, the hormone of alertness, peaks naturally in the morning. When paired with stable blood sugar and sufficient micronutrients, cortisol sharpens focus and energizes thought. Without proper nutritional support, however, cortisol becomes destabilizing, triggering anxiety, irritability, and mental fatigue. Over time, repeated stress without nourishment accelerates neuronal wear, weakens memory circuits, and disrupts emotional balance. By contrast, a nourishing morning intake buffers this stress response, allowing alertness to arise without tension, clarity without agitation, and productivity without burnout. The morning also represents a critical period for brain plasticity, the ability of neural networks to reshape themselves based on experience. Learning capacity is heightened, attention circuits are fresh, and memory consolidation continues. Nutrients such as antioxidants, minerals, and omega-rich fats protect synapses from oxidative stress, supporting the long-term integrity of these communication pathways. Each morning choice subtly sculpts the architecture of the brain, influencing how efficiently information is processed, how deeply memories are stored, and how resilient cognition remains against aging and degeneration. Inflammation plays a silent yet powerful role in cognitive decline. Low-grade inflammation, fueled by poor dietary patterns, slowly erodes neural tissue, disrupts blood-brain barrier function, and impairs neurotransmitter signaling. Morning nutrition rich in anti-inflammatory compounds shifts this internal environment toward repair. It calms immune overactivity, improves cerebral blood flow, and protects delicate neural structures from cumulative damage. Over months and years, this daily ritual becomes a quiet shield, guarding memory, focus, and emotional stability against the slow creep of neurodegenerative processes. Hydration further amplifies these effects. After hours without fluids, blood viscosity increases, circulation slows, and oxygen delivery to the brain diminishes. Rehydration restores cerebral blood flow, enhances electrical signaling, and improves concentration. Even mild dehydration can impair short-term memory, reaction speed, and mood regulation. Thus, the morning intake of water and nourishing foods creates an internal environment where cognition unfolds with ease rather than effort. At a deeper level, the first meal becomes a psychological anchor. It sets a rhythm of care, signaling to the nervous system that safety, stability, and nourishment are present. This sense of biological security allows higher cognitive functions to flourish. Creativity becomes more accessible, emotional responses soften, and mental endurance strengthens. Over time, this pattern reshapes daily experience, transforming mornings from rushed necessity into intentional preparation for conscious living. In honoring this moment, we cultivate not just sharper minds, but gentler ones. The brain, nourished rather than strained, becomes more patient, more perceptive, and more capable of empathy. Thought flows without force, attention steadies without tension, and awareness expands beyond survival into reflection. Through simple morning nourishment, biology and consciousness align, allowing each day to unfold with clarity, resilience, and quiet strength. When the eyes open each morning, they awaken into a world of light after hours of darkness, and this sudden transition places immediate metabolic demand on the delicate tissues responsible for vision. The retina, a thin layer of neural tissue lining the back of the eye, is one of the most energy-hungry structures in the entire body. Its cells constantly convert light into electrical signals, a process requiring a continuous supply of oxygen, glucose, healthy fats, and protective micronutrients. After sleep, these cells are particularly sensitive, having spent the night engaged in repair and renewal. The first nourishment of the day plays a quiet but decisive role in determining how well this system adapts to the incoming flood of sensory information. Vision depends on the precise function of photoreceptor cells, especially rods and cones, which rely on a delicate balance of nutrients to maintain their structure and responsiveness. These cells contain membranes rich in specialized fats that allow light-sensitive pigments to operate efficiently. Without sufficient nourishment, these membranes stiffen, reducing visual clarity and contrast sensitivity. Morning intake of natural fats supports the fluidity of these membranes, ensuring that light signals travel smoothly and accurately through the visual pathway. Over time, this preservation of cellular flexibility becomes essential for maintaining sharp focus, color discrimination, and night vision. Oxidative stress represents one of the greatest threats to visual health. Every exposure to light generates reactive molecules that can damage cellular components if not neutralized. Antioxidants from natural foods serve as molecular guardians, absorbing this stress and preventing cumulative injury. In the morning, when the eyes suddenly transition from darkness to brightness, antioxidant availability becomes especially important. These protective compounds stabilize retinal cells, protect lens proteins from clouding, and preserve the integrity of the tiny blood vessels that nourish ocular tissue. With consistent support, this protection slows the gradual decline that often leads to blurred vision, light sensitivity, and age-related degeneration. Circulation is another silent architect of visual clarity. The eyes contain some of the smallest blood vessels in the body, responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to cells that function continuously without rest. After sleep, circulation must re-establish optimal flow. Certain nutrients enhance vascular flexibility, allowing these microvessels to dilate efficiently and deliver nourishment deep into retinal tissue. Improved circulation reduces visual fatigue, sharpens contrast, and supports sustained focus. Over time, enhanced blood flow becomes a safeguard against ischemic damage and chronic eye strain, both of which contribute to progressive visual decline. The lens, responsible for focusing light onto the retina, also benefits profoundly from early nourishment. This transparent structure is composed largely of proteins arranged in precise alignment. With age and oxidative exposure, these proteins gradually lose clarity, leading to clouding and reduced visual sharpness. Antioxidant-rich morning nutrition supports protein stability, slows glycation processes, and maintains lens transparency. Each morning thus becomes an opportunity to preserve the clarity through which the world is perceived. The nervous system extends directly into the eyes, making vision inseparable from brain health. Signals generated in retinal cells travel along the optic nerve into visual processing centers deep within the brain. Nutrients that support neural integrity therefore strengthen not only perception but interpretation. Enhanced neurotransmitter balance, stabilized blood sugar, and reduced inflammation allow visual signals to be processed more efficiently, resulting in clearer images, faster recognition, and improved depth perception. Over time, this neurological support sustains visual sharpness well beyond what age alone would predict. There is also a profound emotional dimension to visual preservation. Sight shapes memory, connection, and meaning. The faces of loved ones, the subtle colors of nature, the quiet expressions of everyday life all rely on the continued health of these fragile tissues. By nourishing the eyes in the morning, we preserve not only function but experience. We protect the ability to witness beauty, to read subtle emotion, and to remain engaged with the surrounding world. Through these quiet biochemical processes, the first nourishment of the day becomes a daily investment in perception. It supports the structures that translate light into understanding, that transform photons into memory, and that allow awareness to meet the world with clarity and presence. Over years, this simple act accumulates into lasting visual resilience, preserving the gift of sight as a living bridge between inner awareness and external reality. Each morning, as the body transitions from stillness into motion, the joints awaken from hours of reduced circulation and limited movement. During sleep, synovial fluid, the natural lubricant that cushions joint surfaces, becomes more viscous, and cartilage absorbs fluid like a sponge. When we rise, gentle movement and nourishment work together to restore elasticity, lubrication, and resilience. This delicate process is deeply influenced by the first nutrients that enter the bloodstream. What we eat after waking quietly shapes inflammation levels, tissue repair, and long-term joint integrity. Joints are living systems, not mechanical hinges. Cartilage is composed of collagen fibers, water, and specialized proteins that depend on a constant supply of nutrients to maintain their structure. Unlike many tissues, cartilage lacks direct blood supply, relying instead on diffusion from surrounding fluids. This makes nutritional quality especially important, as nutrients must be present in optimal balance to reach these tissues efficiently. Morning intake of supportive compounds enhances this diffusion, nourishing cartilage at a time when it is most receptive to renewal. Inflammation plays a central role in joint aging. While acute inflammation supports healing, chronic low-grade inflammation gradually erodes cartilage, stiffens ligaments, and sensitizes pain receptors. This inflammatory background often intensifies with age, fueled by metabolic imbalance, oxidative stress, and immune dysregulation. Certain natural nutrients act as molecular moderators, calming inflammatory signaling pathways and restoring immune equilibrium. By lowering inflammatory burden early in the day, the entire musculoskeletal system experiences reduced stiffness, greater comfort, and improved mobility. Synovial fluid depends heavily on hydration and nutrient availability. This viscous liquid supplies oxygen, glucose, and micronutrients directly to cartilage while simultaneously removing metabolic waste. When hydration is insufficient or nutrient quality is poor, synovial fluid loses its lubricating properties, increasing friction and accelerating wear. Morning nourishment that supports fluid balance enhances joint gliding, reduces mechanical stress, and preserves smooth, effortless movement. Over time, this daily support maintains flexibility and delays degenerative change. Collagen synthesis represents another critical element of joint preservation. Collagen forms the scaffolding of cartilage, tendons, and ligaments, providing strength and elasticity. Its production declines with age, contributing to tissue fragility and injury risk. Specific amino acids, minerals, and vitamins serve as building blocks for collagen repair. Providing these nutrients early allows connective tissues to engage in reconstruction throughout the day, counteracting cumulative micro-damage and reinforcing structural stability. Mitochondrial health also influences joint resilience. The cells responsible for maintaining cartilage and connective tissue require energy to synthesize proteins, regulate inflammation, and manage oxidative stress. Nutrients that support mitochondrial efficiency improve cellular energy production, allowing tissues to repair rather than deteriorate. This energy sufficiency reduces fatigue-related movement patterns that strain joints, promoting natural posture and biomechanical alignment. Beyond the physical structures, the nervous system exerts powerful control over joint comfort. Pain perception, muscle tone, and coordination are regulated through complex neural networks that respond to nutritional status. Stable blood sugar, adequate minerals, and anti-inflammatory compounds calm overactive pain circuits and reduce unnecessary muscle tension. This neurological balance allows movement to feel fluid and controlled rather than guarded and stiff. Over time, consistent support reshapes motor patterns, improving balance and reducing fall risk. There is a psychological dimension to joint health as well. Morning nourishment that reduces discomfort fosters confidence in movement. When joints feel supported, individuals move more freely, engage more fully in daily activities, and maintain stronger muscular support around joints. This virtuous cycle preserves mobility and independence, sustaining quality of life far beyond physical metrics. In the quiet chemistry of these processes, each morning meal becomes an act of structural compassion. It provides the raw materials for lubrication, repair, and resilience. It moderates inflammation, strengthens connective tissue, and stabilizes neural signaling. Over months and years, this daily ritual gently shifts the trajectory of aging joints, transforming inevitable wear into graceful adaptation, allowing movement to remain a source of expression rather than limitation. Memory is often imagined as a function of the brain alone, yet it is the product of a far more intricate dialogue between neural circuits, hormonal rhythms, immune activity, and the vast microbial ecosystem within the gut. When we wake, this entire network transitions from nighttime restoration into daytime engagement, and in that fragile shift, nutrition exerts a profound influence. The first nourishment of the day becomes a biological cue that shapes neurotransmitter balance, emotional regulation, and the brain's capacity to encode and retrieve experience. During sleep, memory consolidation continues as the brain strengthens meaningful connections and prunes unnecessary ones. By morning, these circuits are temporarily malleable, receptive to signals that determine how efficiently new information will be processed. Nutrients that support stable blood sugar prevent fluctuations that disrupt attention and impair working memory. When glucose delivery is slow and steady, neurons maintain consistent firing patterns, allowing thoughts to unfold coherently rather than in scattered fragments. This metabolic stability lays the foundation for mental clarity and sustained focus. The gut-brain axis represents one of the most powerful mediators of memory and emotional health. Trillions of microorganisms within the digestive tract produce neurotransmitters, vitamins, and anti-inflammatory compounds that directly influence brain chemistry. Certain beneficial bacteria synthesize serotonin precursors, gamma-aminobutyric acid, and short-chain fatty acids that regulate mood, reduce anxiety, and support synaptic plasticity. Morning nourishment that feeds these microbes strengthens this biochemical partnership, allowing emotional balance and cognitive clarity to arise naturally. Inflammation quietly erodes memory over time. Immune molecules crossing the blood-brain barrier disrupt synaptic communication, impair neurogenesis, and weaken long-term potentiation, the process underlying learning. Chronic low-grade inflammation, often driven by metabolic stress and poor dietary patterns, accelerates cognitive aging. Nutrients rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds calm immune signaling, protect neural tissue, and preserve synaptic integrity. In the morning, when immune activity recalibrates, these protective inputs exert especially strong influence, shaping the inflammatory tone for the entire day. Hormonal rhythms further intertwine with memory. Cortisol, melatonin, insulin, and growth hormone follow precise cycles that regulate attention, emotional responsiveness, and neural repair. Disruption of these rhythms impairs memory consolidation and emotional stability. The timing and composition of the first meal provide powerful cues to these hormonal systems. Balanced nourishment aligns metabolic signals with circadian rhythms, stabilizing cortisol release and supporting insulin sensitivity. This hormonal harmony fosters calm alertness, emotional resilience, and cognitive endurance. Mitochondrial function within neurons also governs memory performance. These cellular power centers generate the energy required for synaptic transmission, neurotransmitter synthesis, and neural repair. Oxidative stress and nutrient deficiency compromise mitochondrial efficiency, leading to mental fatigue, slowed processing, and impaired recall. Nutrients that support mitochondrial health restore energetic capacity, allowing neural circuits to operate with precision and speed. Over time, this energy sufficiency preserves mental sharpness and cognitive longevity. Emotional resilience emerges naturally from this biological balance. Anxiety, depression, and chronic stress disrupt memory formation by diverting neural resources toward survival pathways. When morning nourishment stabilizes blood sugar, calms inflammation, and supports neurotransmitter synthesis, emotional turbulence softens. The mind becomes steadier, more receptive, and less reactive. Memory then becomes clearer not through effort, but through ease, as cognitive resources are freed from the burden of physiological stress. There is also a subtle philosophical dimension to memory. Memory is not merely the storage of facts, but the continuity of identity, the thread that connects past, present, and future. By nourishing the systems that support recall and emotional stability, we protect this continuity. We preserve the ability to recognize loved ones, to learn new skills, and to remain engaged with life's unfolding narrative. Through these interwoven mechanisms, the first nourishment of the day becomes a silent architect of cognitive and emotional well-being. It shapes the chemistry of attention, the stability of mood, and the resilience of memory. Over years, this daily act accumulates into lasting mental clarity, emotional balance, and a deeper sense of presence, allowing awareness to meet each day with curiosity rather than confusion, and engagement rather than withdrawal. Each morning offers a moment of profound quiet, a brief interval where intention can gently shape biology. Before schedules demand attention and external pressures begin to tug at awareness, the body listens closely to the signals it receives. In these early minutes, nourishment becomes more than sustenance. It becomes a message, a declaration of how we choose to relate to ourselves. Through this simple act, we participate consciously in the intricate choreography of cells, hormones, and neural circuits that sustain life. The body is not a passive machine awaiting commands, it is an intelligent system constantly interpreting environmental cues. Food serves as one of its most powerful languages. The quality, timing, and composition of the first meal send precise biochemical instructions that influence metabolism, immune balance, and neurological tone. When this nourishment is intentional, it reinforces biological rhythms shaped by millions of years of evolution. Circadian cycles align, digestive enzymes activate smoothly, and energy flows with quiet efficiency. The organism responds not with strain, but with cooperation. In this dialogue, awareness plays a transformative role. Eating with presence shifts the nervous system from vigilance into safety. The parasympathetic pathways that govern digestion, repair, and emotional calm become dominant. Heart rate steadies, breath deepens, and muscular tension softens. In this physiological state, nutrients are absorbed more effectively, inflammation diminishes, and cellular repair accelerates. A simple meal, when approached with mindfulness, becomes a ritual of restoration rather than a hurried transaction. This intentional nourishment also cultivates a deeper sense of agency. Health ceases to feel like a distant goal and becomes an immediate experience. Each morning choice affirms that care is available in the present moment. This perception gently reshapes identity, shifting it from passive recipient of circumstance into active participant in well-being. Over time, these micro-decisions accumulate, altering not only physiology but self-concept, nurturing confidence and self-trust. Biologically, this intentional rhythm stabilizes metabolic patterns. Consistent morning nourishment regulates insulin sensitivity, lipid metabolism, and hormonal balance. The body learns predictability, allowing internal systems to anticipate demand and respond efficiently. This metabolic coherence reduces chronic stress, stabilizes energy levels, and supports immune resilience. Aging, once associated primarily with decline, becomes a process of adaptation guided by conscious participation. Psychologically, this ritual offers grounding. The act of preparing and consuming nourishing food anchors attention in the present. It interrupts cycles of rumination and anxiety, offering a tactile reminder of physical reality. This sensory engagement stabilizes mood, softens emotional volatility, and enhances cognitive clarity. The mind becomes less scattered, more coherent, and more receptive to experience. There is also a subtle ethical dimension to this practice. In nourishing ourselves, we cultivate compassion not only inwardly but outwardly. Self-care fosters empathy, patience, and generosity. When the body feels supported, emotional reserves expand, allowing deeper connection with others. This relational ripple extends the impact of morning nourishment beyond individual health into collective well-being. Over time, this ritual becomes a quiet form of meditation, a daily recommitment to presence and intention. It reminds us that health is not achieved through force or perfection, but through consistency and care. Each morning, we begin again, free from yesterday's missteps, invited into renewal. In this repetition, discipline transforms into devotion, and routine becomes reverence. Through this lens, nourishment transcends nutrition. It becomes a bridge between consciousness and matter, linking thought with cellular response. In honoring this bridge, we cultivate harmony within the body and coherence within the mind. Each dawn offers an invitation to participate in our own unfolding, to nourish not only tissues and organs, but awareness itself. If you found these insights helpful and want to continue learning practical, science-backed strategies to stay healthy, strong, and vibrant as you age, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends and family who could benefit, and subscribe to our channel for daily senior wellness tips, nutrition guidance, and simple lifestyle hacks designed to enhance longevity and quality of life. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video that can help you live healthier, happier, and more empowered every day.